So in 2022, it was almost exactly 4 years ago. So right at the beginning of 22, the main market I was doing business in, Pueblo West, Colorado, decided to shut down all new water taps with absolutely no warning of any kind. And they didn't give a lot of information. So almost all of my business was there. I had quite a few properties in escrow to buy, to sell, planned builds for the year, etc. And I don't know, is the land worthless? Are they out of water? What's going to be the scenario here? And then obviously that whole pipeline just shut down.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds, and I am excited to be here today. I'm excited because my guest is, we're going to talk about land today. And I'm sure he's going to let you know is something that's kind of underappreciated. I've talked to some land developers, but I don't get to talk to a lot of people that deal within land. And so I'm very excited to have this conversation and introduce you all to Mr. Dan Haberkost. Mr. Haberkost, how did I do with that last thing? Did I do okay?
Perfect. Spot on.
My man, I appreciate you, sir. Listen, Mr. Dan, thank you for being here. What I want to do, I kind of want to dive right in. I want you to tell the people what your main focus is these days. If you want to give them a little bit of an origin story of kind of how you got into, what you're in, the niche that you're in. We love origin stories. And then also tell them what markets you're operating in, what part of the world you're in. And so, Mr. Dan, sir, you have the floor, man.
Great. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Quentin. So quick background for your audience. I actually got started in real estate when I was 21. So I worked full time through college, and that wasn't a whole lot of fun. And so, working a full time job, going to school full time, I didn't have much free time. However, I was managing people, managing numbers in a business, in a landscaping company for somebody else. And
Mm.
doing that, I learned a lot at a young age about business, finances, managing people. And so as I was finishing school, I thought, okay, well, how do I take this and start something when I no longer have the time commitment of school
Mhm.
and build something of my own so I don't have to work for somebody else? And so I read a bunch of different books on investing, business, etc. And like just about everyone else, it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was the light bulb moment. So I bought a duplex for a house hack when I was 21, and that was in Ohio where I grew up. And didn't want to stay there, moved to Colorado when I was 22, and I bought another house as a house hack, kept the duplex, and quickly found that the low and no money down stuff is great, maybe for a few properties, but the reality is if you want to buy a lot of real estate, you need money. You need money somewhere. Even if you get no money down deals or seller financing, things go wrong, right? Anyone that's been doing this for a while, I can tell you all kinds of crazy stories about rental properties. Things go wrong. You need cash, you need liquidity to bridge the different problems that come about, right? And so I started going to a local real estate group. This was in 2018 when I moved to Colorado. And I met a guy who'd been in the land and development space since the 70s. And he lived about an hour south of where I was living, and he was doing new construction. And so I would drive down there every weekend. I'd help him in his business because he was a bit behind technologically.
Hmm.
And he got me into land and then small scale development. So my first few land deals were just sourcing lots for him and his builder friends direct to seller. They're just simple infill lots. And I quickly started making money that way. I was participating with him on the builds, helping put them together. I'd make some money. I'd flip some lots to him and his friends. And that's where Front Range Land was ultimately born. So I started that in 2019. And that became the vehicle for making money to
Hmm.
then buy more and more rentals. And land is great, but it doesn't come with depreciation. And so I make the money in Front Range Land, I put it into rental properties, those depreciate nicely and then help to reduce the tax burden on that income. And so I left my last job in 2019. So I've been totally on my own since then. And
Wow.
yeah, Front Range Land has evolved over the years. It's all almost all direct to seller marketing. Occasionally we get on market deals if they're large enough. And we solve all kinds of problems, title problems of all kinds to get deals, and then also do subdivides, exempt or minor subdivides, where you take large tracts of land, split them up, sell them off. And so that's the vehicle for making money, and then slowly and steadily been buying rental properties along the way.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Love it, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for walking us through the journey, letting us know where you are now. And I like it. I say this probably once every episode because it just proves to be true when I talk to people just like yourself that destiny has no wasted moments, right? So meaning like as you go through life, there are just things, skills that you acquire, mindsets that you acquire that just help you be who you are today. And so when I listen to you, and you've been doing this since 2020, I mean, sorry, since 21 in college, working full time, going to school full time, not having a real personal life, right? You walked away, you've been doing this been
Yeah.
full time since 2019. In the landscaping business, you picked up just skills. I just want to pull out some of those skills and ask you point blank, what are some strategies, personal skills that you have developed over the years throughout your journey that kind of make you the man you are today and the business person you are today?
Hmm. That's a great question. I'd say one of the biggest things is along the whole way, there are just so many things you have to do and conversations you have to have that are really uncomfortable. And so
Mm,
my ability to handle, manage, and not react to conflict and problems is pretty solid at this point. I mean, I could tell you so many horror stories of things from water coming through the ceiling to contractors getting arrested in the midst of huge projects and bailing them out of jail and just endless crap I can tell you. So that's probably one. I'm very good at remaining stoic when everything's going wrong.
mm,
I can handle
mhm.
conflict very well because there's just always problems and conflicts, and you have to get it past it to close and solve deals. And probably just communication, which goes hand in hand with what I just said. I feel
Yeah.
like I've become pretty good at communicating clearly and concisely from business.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's beautiful, man, because everybody don't have that superpower. And I'll tell you one person that don't have that superpower is me. Like I have to actively work on not getting too emotional. You know, my,
Mm,
my wife,
mm.
my wife even said early on when we got married, she says, you Quentin, anger is is a secondary emotion. Tell me what you really feeling. And so I'll be like, oh man, okay, so man, the fact that you can remain stoic, the fact that you can remain your amygdala can remain intact as you deal with things is brilliant because I'm that's a skill set that is not learned from me, but I am learning it. I'm learning to slow myself down, and so I thank you for answering that question. Thank you for what I say is the gift of your vulnerability, because you did not have to share that. And so many of us, we have different temperaments, different things that drive us, and it's good to know that you have learned how to just slow things down, not be easily rattled, as you said, be stoic. And so I appreciate you sharing that. And and I just want to encourage everybody just to dig deep and just know their self. Like I don't, even though I'm not like you in that regard, I can learn to be. These are just different things that I can, pick up on. So I appreciate you sharing, Dan. Now, I loved how you said you faced some adversities. You talked about contractors getting arrested. Like, so obviously things has not always been easy as you was building. I would love, man, if you could tell us a quick story about some time where you had to pivot real fast because of adversity that you was facing.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah. So in 2022, it was almost exactly 4 years ago. So right at the beginning of 22, the main market I was doing business in, Pueblo West, Colorado, decided to shut down all new water taps with absolutely no warning of any kind. And they didn't give a lot of information. So almost all of my business was there. I had quite a few properties in escrow to buy, to sell, planned builds for the year, etc. And I don't know, is the land worthless? Are they out of water? What's going to be the scenario here? And then obviously that whole pipeline just shut down. Nobody was going to buy or well, people would sell, but nobody would buy anything until that was solved. And so that was a terrible day. I found this out when I was flying home from a vacation, actually. When you land in a layover and you get service again, and when your
Yeah.
phone blows up, something's
Mhm.
wrong. And so that's what happened,
Yeah.
and I had to quickly figure out how to move to different markets. And so at that time,
Hmm.
I started marketing to Florida immediately. And long story short, about 4 months later, they did end up opening water taps back up. It ended up being at a much higher price and a reduced allocation. So all was not lost, but ended up making far less on what I was working on. The land values went down, and then it also coincided with right when interest rates were going up. So then that slowed down the market. So that market's been very slow since then. And I think the biggest lesson learned from that was just not having all your eggs in one basket, which, like many lessons, is something everybody says, but I think we're all bad at learning things by proxy and we have to get kicked in the teeth to learn them. So that was one. I can give you plenty more if you'd like.
No, man, that was brilliant. And listen, I'm gonna tell you, we are definitely created differently because you're telling a story and I'm getting anxiety. You actually lived it, and I'm over here like, wait a minute, what? In my mind, I'm like, what would I have done? And so we're definitely, we're definitely created differently. But I thank you, man. Thank you for sharing the story again, letting people know, sometimes you're gonna come up against adversity, and I love the way that you were able to stay calm within the adversity and to just have that growth mindset, saying to find ways to get around things and get things accomplished. And so, Dan, let me ask you, what's the next goal for Front Range Land? Like, what are you looking to solve or scale next?
Yeah, the biggest thing this year is we have goals around a certain amount of projects purchased. It's impossible to predict perfectly the dispo timeline, how long it'll take to sell, but if we're buying at a certain basis, low enough, and it's good land that fits our criteria, we're not forcing anything. That to me is the biggest metric we can hit this year. So we have goals around that. You asked earlier, and I forgot to answer. It just reminded me. We're focused on Colorado, obviously, with Front Range Land,
Okay.
but then had it expanded to the Carolinas. I know I referenced Florida. We did a bunch of deals in Florida in 22, 23, and 24, but much of Florida has really slowed down. So heavily focused on large tracts of land in Colorado and the Carolinas. And yeah, working to get, as an example, last July, I bought 640 acres. We split that into 16 40-acre lots. We're selling those off one at a time. That's been a great project. And I want to duplicate that over and over again. So we have goals around buying a certain amount of projects like that while also, keeping small deals going as well, just, kind of keep the lights on. But you
Yep.
can make so much progress with one solid acquisition. It can set you up for years of profitable deals selling off the smaller pieces.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, listen, I appreciate that. I'm hearing you a lot say we, saying we a lot. And so I want to pick your brain a little bit when it comes to relationships, right?
Mhm.
Has relationships served you well? Do you believe in building relationships? Like, what is your outlook and perspective on relationship building within business?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Absolutely, with employees, with investors, with realtors, absolutely essential. I mean, we have so many realtors on the ground that we rely on. I rarely see these pieces we buy in the
Hmm.
Carolinas because I have good brokers on the ground that know land that help us and look at all of them. In Colorado, I go back there quite a bit, but still, oftentimes we don't even see them in person there. Same thing with investors. I mean, once you have people that really trust you, it just makes it so easy. I mean, there's people I just call, "Hey, I have this coming up. I need this much money." Great.
Hmm.
And that's that. And they just send the
Yeah,
money. Like they trust me implicitly at this point. And that is really key to making business easier, right? Because you don't have that, and then there's a lot more time you need to spend to get investors and to build trust and show them the deal. And so that's just true across the board. The realtors we work with, I don't have to convince them of anything. We just send them an address, and they give us their opinion. They go check the property out. And so trust and good relationships just makes everything easier in really all aspects of business. So it's absolutely essential.
man, I love it. I love how you talk about trust. Trust. I have a saying that, well, I borrowed the saying. It's not like an original thought, but trust is gained in drops and lost in buckets, right? So trust is just a big thing. Is these little things that you do with building relationships that is just gained over time. And so when I listen to you talk about you got brokers on the floor, you got people, agents out there, you have people on the ground, even when you can't physically be there that you trust, obviously, and they trust you, it just makes everything, it make the whole system run smooth. And so I appreciate you saying that and bringing that word trust into the conversation. Listen, Dan, is there anything, any topic that we have not talked about that you would like to talk about? Or is there any kind of words of encouragement, motivation, education that maybe you want to leave with our viewers? I would love to hear it if you have one.
Well, I think just a distinction between what I do and what many people think of when they think of land, right?
Hmm.
So I talk to people all the time, and when you reference land, the only thing that they think of is large pieces of land that are close to major cities that would be used for full blown entitlement projects. And what do I mean by that? I mean, the subdivision that a developer would prepare for DR Horton to build on, where they bring in streets and roads and they have quarter acre or 10,000 square foot lots with water, sewer, power all ready to go. You can make a lot of money doing that. I know people doing it, but it is incredibly cash intensive. You can get delayed years and years by the city or county or metro district, whatever oversees the area. And it's just a hard business. Again, I'm watching friends of mine do that, and I don't necessarily envy them. And I like to play within the by right, the world of what you can do by right. And most places, maybe not especially regulation heavy places, but most places in the Southeast, in all of Colorado, they have kind of a litmus test where if your subdivision falls within this set of boundaries, you can do it by right. Or in some places with a very minor clerical process that requires just a few fees and a few check boxes.
Hmm.
And that is a whole different type of I wouldn't call it development, but you can call it whatever, where you can take a large tract of land, split it up substantially smaller, and get that premium for the smaller lots without dealing with all the headache that most people think of when it comes to development, right? So that's the world that I play within. Before we got on here, I was spending quite a bit of time on Colorado Division of Water Resources. We have a a really prime piece of land we're buying where we might actually take a portion of it and do a major subdivision would be the term. But I have stayed away from that very intentionally because it's just a different game. It's longer time horizons, more uncertainty, more capital needed, and potentially a massive payout. But also, I know a lot of people have gone broke doing that. So I think distinction is really important. And one other thing I want to comment on is almost all our business is direct to seller, and a huge bucket of our deals are distressed title, where
Mm,
it's land, right? And so I'm not
yeah.
flipping trashed houses, but we get all kinds of properties that have some sort of title problem. The stuff you run into is crazy, and it makes you wonder, how did it get platted this way, or what was the original developer doing? But we closed a big one in South Carolina end of last month that we just listed that we had to get access. I had physical access, it had no legal access. So that's a common one that gets us great deals. We do lots of quiet titles, probates. You just run into weird issues where you're calling relatives and neighbors and trying to get clear title, and we get lots of good deals that way as well. So there's plenty of just simple flips where we got a great deal because something was wrong with the chain of title. We corrected that and got a good deal in the process.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. I love how you're figuring things out. I love the distinction that you're making, really kind of educating people on what you do. I absolutely love it, man. And I appreciate you so much, man, for coming through, sharing the information. If someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate, learn more about what you're doing, how can they get into contact with you, Dan?
Yeah, look me up on Instagram or any of the socials, Dan Haberkost, and then also I host a podcast, The Big Picture Blueprint, with a co-host where we interview lots of people in the land space, but real estate in general. It's more of a 201 show, not a 101. So if you're in the business or you're investing in real estate, you probably find it interesting.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Mr. Dan, I thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time, because time is definitely valuable, and you know that. Thank you for your story. Again, like the gift, your vulnerability, sharing. I really appreciate that. And definitely thank you for your perspective. Thank you for the way you think, for your mindset, and bringing that to this podcast. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. This was fun.
Absolutely. Well, listen, y'all heard Mr. Dan. You can't tell me you did not get the value out of this conversation. So definitely check him out. Check out his podcast. But definitely make sure you're subscribed here, because I promise you, we're going to continue to bring amazing people up, just like Mr. Dan. So, sir, I want to say thank you again. And to everyone else, we'll see you on the next time.
Thanks, Quentin.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.